Okay, I'm on. Well, hello. This is a wonderful, dreary afternoon. And I thought what would be interesting today, since I haven't done a video in quite a while, I just finished rehandling an old Estwing hatchet. Now this is a 1¼ pound Estwing hatchet that we found in an auction box a long time ago, and the handle was just dry rotted and flaking off. So I originally rehandled it with most of the handle material you see here, which was a mixture of boots and belts that we had laying around, and it was really blocky and junky. So I redid it. Came out much nicer, and it has better glue in it this time. First time I used Gorilla Glue because I thought it would fill the voids. It just ended up, with the repeated striking, it just ended up powderizing. So if you have excessive voids in anything that's going to receive a ton of shock, don't trust Gorilla Glue, the polymer expanding glue, to do anything for you. Get the epoxy, because it forms a much more solid bond that's shock absorbent instead of just falling apart. But it's got a nice edge on it. It's all nice and polished up. And I thought I would compare it to one of my recent knives, this interpretation of a Viking Seax. This knife is just under a pound, so it's a pretty good comparison, with it being a little bit longer, being that the point of percussion is up here on the knife, and it being only a quarter pound less than the hatchet. So we're going to test these out on this log. I have a decent section right here that I can get two cuts that won't bother each other too much if I stay within like 6 inches, and it's relatively the same thickness. So we'll start out with the hatchet. Put my knife back, and I'm just going to set a timer and see about how long it takes me to get through them. So I'll set a timer on my can't speak, my watch. Okay, it's working. There we go. Now, the hatchet, with a more centralized point of percussion, bites really deep. And if you've never got to handle one of these old Estwing hatchets, or even one of the new ones, they're a very well constructed hatchet. There we go. Okay, 1 minute, 7 seconds, or thereabouts. So that's not too bad for a little pound-and-a-half hatchet that cut through about a 4-inch chunk of log there. Not too bad. Now, let me put this back. now, for the comparison, let's check out the knife and see if a 1/4 pound less heavy, but I don't know, like 3 inches longer knife can do a similar job. So I'm going to actually pull right down to here. We'll try to cut off a little nubbin. Keep this within this range right here. And for these straight handles, they're kind of octagonal. I found that if you readjust every once in a while, you can keep it in your hand very easily. But if you want to be a little bit more secure, you can just take your thumb, since your thumb doesn't do the majority of the work, and you can ride the top of the handle scale. It makes you choke up a little bit on the handle, but it allows you to swing and use that thumb as kind of a pivot point, and it keeps the blade from sliding out of your hand. So, I'm actually going to kneel on this log here this time around. Make it a little bit more comfortable. Okay, now, we've got our timer set, and go. That kind of split there at the end, but we'll call it good because it came out about the same. We had, when I looked just now, it was right at 1 minute and 10 seconds. So, with that little pause to take a look at our split out, I think, actually, you can't see that very well. Which one was it? It's this side. So we only had a little bit left to go, which wasn't that bad. So what can we take away from this? In this little one shot is that with only a pound of difference in the weight of the blades, or the axe and the knife, we saw a negligible amount of performance disparity. So most of the time when I see people test whether an axe is better or a knife is better, they're using blades that are way different in weight, in handle length, in sharpness sometimes too. So both of these are razor sharp, they're within the same length, and they're within the same poundage, within the same weight. So I'd say that kind of dispels some of the myths surrounding whether an axe is better or a knife is better. In that if you have something that weighs the same and is of similar length, there will be no difference in the performance that you can have. Now, you can get better performance out of a standard axe simply because the head weighs more and you have a longer handle that's usually made of wood. which puts all of the weight forward. This little hatchet, has a metal handle, so it doesn't have all of its weight right on that head. But still, I think this is a very good comparison. So, with that, thank you for watching. I will hopefully have some more videos up, hopefully doing some really interesting things in the future. And thank you for watching. BackWoodsBrooks out.